Welcome back to episode 2 of Lingfield Springwatch. In this episode, we have some fabulous footage of our resident birds. They have been very busy since we last saw them. We have an interesting resident in our tawny owl box, and we'll take a look at who else has been visiting the school grounds.
In our last episode, we looked at the fabulous drawings that Alex had produced to show the variety of eggs and nests that wild birds make. We are amazed at how adept they are just constructing such an intricate nest using just their beaks. We thought we would have to have a go at doing this ourselves.
Our eco-counsellors are going to try using pincers as a beak so that they're imitating a bird. They're going to see whether they can make a nest anything near this nest. Over to you, boys. Pick up your beaks and start building.
Let's just deploy.
I'm going to do this on a timer, so you will be stopped in about 5 minutes, and we'll see what kind of nests you have made.
Is this an...
Oh, that's a good idea, Charlie.
Good nest twig. Get a twig. Twigs. I'm getting twigs. That's yours. Twigs. Up, starting on my head.
So I'm going to stop you shortly, boys, and then we will examine your nests.
Don't call me shortly.
3, no hands. 2, 1. Stand back from your nests. Stand back from your nests.
John is our way. They are some real nests. Let's compare these to ours.
How do ours compare, boys?
Terrible. Rubbish. Horrible. No. Rubbish. Remember our footage of the blue tip measuring and building the nest in one of our nest boxes? After the horror of the intruder we showed you in episode 1, she decided the nest was far too spoiled and chose to start all over again with a new nest site. However, just take a look at all the effort she put into building that original nest. It took her 52 days in total to construct her first nest. On the great tip front. As you can see, she laid 8 eggs and they look remarkably like Alex's drawing. So well done, Alex. Out of those 8, 4 babies hatched, and you can see how competitive they are with each other to get the tastiest morsel. Here you can see the hatchlings feed. Have you noticed how their beaks look very different to their parents? When they open their beak wide to feed, it opens super wide, which they can only do when young. This is called a gape. The colour of the gape is usually bright, and in this case it's yellow. Can you think why this might be? This is so that the brightest and widest gape is fed first because it attracts the parents' attention. Unlike your mum and dad's, these parents are not interested in giving fairly. The biggest and widest gape always wins. We do hope that the shy one will get enough food to survive because, as you can see, there are generally only 3 males present, and one of the hatchlings seems to be getting squashed by his siblings. Here you can clearly see the mother bird from moving a poo sack from one of the babies. We may find it disgusting,
but it's their way of keeping their home clean and safe. It's fantastic how we are able to see exactly what food the parent birds are bringing in. You can almost see the insects disappearing right down their throats. We will come back later to see how they got on.
Earlier in the year, we installed a tawny owl box just here. Sadly, no tawny owls chose to nest in our box, but we do know that they nested in another tree in this part of the woods. Look who decided to take up residence in our box instead.
You can imagine what is going through his head as he looks at his potential new home. This might do nicely. I'll just put my scent around here to make sure it's mine, and if anyone dares try to steal my smart home, there'll be trouble. Inside the box, the squirrel will have built a dray. This is the word for a squirrel's nest. It's much simpler than a bird's nest, made mainly out of leaves and twigs.
You may not realise just how important it is to spend time with nature. Research has shown that it makes a huge difference to our mental health, and we are so lucky at Lingfield to have so much nature right on our doorstep. Time for a mindfulness moment whilst you look at the amazing range of wildlife and habitats we have here at Lingfield College. Using our trail cam, we have observed an abundance of prey that will benefit the owls, especially if they are feeding young.
Here you can see some of the rodents caught on our trail cam. This one is a wood mouse, which you can identify by the size of the ears and its long tail. This is not the same as a common house mouse.
We weren't even aware that we had a resident shrew. You can spot him or her by their long pointy snout and tiny eyes. Our next visitor was another we had not seen before, a bank vole, who can be identified by its small ears and rounded head. Here you can see their comparative sizes and features. Here is the wood mouse. He's approximately the size of 2 satsumas, or 90 millimeters, and weighs about 23 grams.
There are many other mouse species in the UK, but this is the only one we have spotted on site. Next is the bank vole, which is about 2 and a few segments of a satsuma, or 100 millimeters, and weighs between 15 and 36 grams. So a heavier one is probably closer to 3 satsumas. You can see his much smaller eyes and his shorter tail than the wood mouse. He also has smaller ears and a rounded snout. Known as the common shrew, but certainly not common to us, this little creature is perhaps not even as large as a satsuma and weighs 5 to 12 grams. So tiny and so cute. He's easily recognised by his little pointy snout.
Here is a closer look. Let's return to our great tit nest to see if the shy bird has survived.
Here you can see how quickly they grow, and they are even getting their adult plumage. Over to Matthew.
We were overjoyed when the greedy great tit moved his wing and we saw that there were 4. In the daytime footage, you can really see their adult colours and that they are so big they almost mob Mum as she arrives to feed them. We are happy to report that all 4 birds fledged safely and are happily flying around the orchard.
Although our robin boxes have not been used yet, we are lucky enough to have access to a gardening coolie that has bumper crops for robin nesting. The mother robin laid 6 eggs and all 6 of them have hatched. Here you can see them thriving with their very attentive parents.
Just as we saw with the great tit nest, here you can see one of the parents carrying away a poo sack to keep the nest clean and tidy.
We are delighted to report that all 6 robins fledged. From this point they are known as fledglings rather than hatchlings. Here you can see them considering whether to fly or not.
Oh, I'm going to fly like Mum and Dad. Oh, no, this is higher than I thought. Not today. Go on. You can do this, I'll just give you a little push. Yay! He flew the nest!
It makes more and more of us happy to see so much biodiversity at our school. We're so lucky.
And that brings us to the end of Lingfield Springwatch 2022. We will be back with more nature stories next year. Thank you for watching and have a great summer.